Hello everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to Moments with McClellan. You notice we are in a different place. We are in my district office in Richmond, and so for episode 3 we have our first in-district guest, former city councilman and city council president for the city of Richmond. Now, by the time you see this, the new delegate for what district number?
77.
77, Delegate Mike Jones. How you doing?
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year. Welcome to Moments with McClellan.
This is a ridiculous honor for me. I'm just so happy to be here. One, I'm just so proud of you.
Oh.
Now, I know I say that every time I see you, but I am so ecstatic about the trajectory of your political career and just how God has used you, man, to be that North Star for so many of us. And so, man, I'm trying not to cheese and smile and cry at the same time.
Aww.
Because Jennifer, you have done so much to represent this area with class, grace, and dignity, and you are fierce on top of all that. And so I just appreciate all that you are and all that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to see your latest chapter. So we're going to get right to our questions. We were chatting a little bit. Now, we are recording this before the swearing in, but by the time you see it, the General Assembly session will have started. It'll be the first one that I am not a part of in 18 years. So a little bittersweet, but I kind of like the job I have now. And I know the House is in good hands. So you, by the time folks see this, will have been sworn in.
Yeah.
And what is your number in seniority?
I'm 90. I'm number 90, and I think I share that with you.
Yes.
And so that gives me hope, so much hope, because we drew, we have an historic class. There are like 32 of us, and so we had to figure out seniority, and they drew lots, and I drew 90. But I honestly, I shouted when I said 90. I'm like, yeah, because I'm just happy to serve in the General Assembly. It's something that I believe I had wanted and God had put on my heart to do. And then our good friend, Donald McClellan. And so this is something that we talked about often. I even pause in saying that because it's just a weighty moment for me. But it's a privilege to serve the people of Richmond and Chesterfield County in the General Assembly. It's an honor.
And what are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, that first day. The first day it's going to be history. I mean, wow. In the past, you got to figure with you, the past 12 months have just been about Virginia history.
Mm-hmm.
You being the first African-American woman to represent the Commonwealth. And what, the fourth African-American total in the history, or?
Third from Virginia?
Third from Virginia?
Third.
And then to be a part of Delegate Don Scott being named the first Black Speaker of the House in Virginia. It's just been what I've learned, and I hope what people learn, that you don't always have to be the history maker to celebrate history being made.
That's true.
And so for me to be so close to history makers, my name will never be in the book like that.
I've never said never.
No, because I won't be the first. I won't be the
You'll
first.
make history in other ways.
In other ways, but to know and to be as close to the fire with you and with Don Scott, man, I'm full. I'm full. I just am.
Well, and for the first time ever, when the governor gives the state of the Commonwealth, he will have standing behind him 3 African Americans: the lieutenant governor, the president pro tem of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a historic moment.
And all Virginians should celebrate that.
Yes,
every
absolutely.
Virginian, to see how far we have come. And I know some will say, well, we got so much farther to go. And we do. But to be where we are, a place where our fathers, our mothers haven't seen. I remember I saw white only, colored only, not in textbooks, but in my mother's scrapbook.
Yeah.
Because she grew up in Jackson Ward. And so that's where I first saw that. So to be a part of this and to see Virginia grow, to see her grow and move beyond, it gives us hope for what our kids are going to see.
Oh, I know. It's going to be exciting. All right, so we are also both members of the Divine Nine.
Indeed.
You are a Kappa. Happy belated Founders
Indeed.
Day.
J5, yeah.
I am a Delta. We have our Founders Day coming up January 13th. What is your favorite part of being a Kappa?
Honestly, learning about self and really what it means to be an African American male in society and what we are to give back. That it's not just all about me as an individual, that we're a part of a larger collective. And that's what we learned online, that it just wasn't about me going somewhere and getting hot dogs and forgetting the rest of my line brothers, but how we fit into the larger scheme of life and society. I think that's something I took away, because I think when we're at that age, when I pledged in undergrad, we're very selfish. And they tried to work that out to you in the worst kind of way. And so you learn how you make a teamwork, you learn how you serve a community. And we were just able to see and take part in some pretty interesting things. Even Wellington Webb, who was just a city auditor at the time, but we helped work on his campaign and the things that they were doing down in Denver.
Wow.
So to see how I fit as a servant of others is kind of what I took away.
That's really cool. That's really cool. All right. So what, you're about to be really busy. Hopefully you got some rest during the holiday season. I know that's in your other job as a pastor.
Indeed.
Busy time. But when you do get a moment to take a break, what's your favorite thing to do in Richmond?
In Richmond, one, I love spending time with family. That's huge. I love the river. The James River is, I believe, the best kept, unfortunately, the best kept secret in the area. So to go down to the river, Forest Hill Park, this urban park that is so wooded and so secluded in different parts that you would think that you're in West Virginia somewhere when you get to the base of it. And so that's something that I enjoy doing, no matter the temperature, no matter the time of year. That's a beautiful place for me.
I don't know, you and Tim Kaine might need to go hiking together one day. All right, so who is your role model or personal inspiration?
Man, yeah, you have so many in different parts of life. Of course, my family, my mom and dad, they went through. I can never claim that I have suffered injustice the way my mother and father had to. The things they had to face and deal with. My father was a Navy SEAL, and so he came along in the time in which President Kennedy at the time transitioned them from just being sea orchards to being the land and the air. That's what makes the SEALs SEAL. And so to see how my father served in a time when he was only one of a few black faces in this troop of elite warriors, to see how he handled it, that meant something to me. To see how he could still be dad. How do you do, he had 2 tours in Vietnam as a SEAL, how do you do those things and still come home and hold your son, hold your wife, hold your daughter? That meant something to me. From the political side, Don McKeeton. He was just and has been an inspiration. Miss him dearly. And so to see how he did it and to see why he did it and what he was willing to do to make things happen, learned a lot from him.
He's also a Kappa.
Yes, and he was also my frat brother. And he
That's
never
right.
let me forget
bet
that he pledged before I did as well.
I bet he did.
That was my guy.
So, we just had the Golden Globes, and I know in your vast amounts of free time, you saw some movies. What was the best movie you saw in 2023?
You know what? But this is what June does, my wife, right? She is in that whole entertainment industry. One, I love the fact that Joe Coy was up front. I don't know how he did and what the feedback was, but I love Joe Coy. I love Beef. I'm not gonna lie, I loved Beef, and it was good to see Ali Wong and everyone win that. Because you're talking about road rage and things of that nature. That was a fun one. Another fun movie, it wasn't in the Golden Globe discussion, but for me it was Parasite. That was another one that I enjoyed. And then if it ain't blowing up, it's not for Mike Jones. So so I'm a Denzel, gosh, I'm a Denzel fan and everything that he did in The Equalizer 1, 2, and 3. But I do a lot of binge watching, and so how things correlate to different aspects of my life. So The Wire, gosh, House of Cards, of course, and watching those things. But I enjoy those things. I watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies, so I don't have to think. So that's why they say when you watch movies that you've seen before, your brain is not trying to piece together the plots and all the storylines. You're actually just able to sit there and just get rest. And so my wife is like, why you always watch the same shows? Because I can actually give my brain a break and just sit back and veg out.
So fun fact, when I was studying for the bar, I watched The Lion King every night before I went to bed, just to clear my mind. And occasionally I'd throw Gladiator in there. So
Russell Crowe.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen that.
Oh.
I love it. In this lifetime or the one to come.
Yes.
So loved it.
So you, as we said, you're a pastor and you're a leader in state government and in our community. How does your faith and your ministry inform your public service?
One of the things Congressman McClellan told me, he was like, Michael, this is simply an extension of your pulpit. That if it is that disjointed from what you do on Sunday, you're not doing it for the right reason. And so he got up, because I had members of my church that really didn't want me to run for city council. They just thought it was something that a pastor should not do. But Donald more or less read them the riot act from the pulpit. If it's so oily that a pastor can't do it, why should any Christian do it? And if any Christian can do it, why can't your Christian leader do it? And again, that was his point. If this is not an extension of it, then what are you doing? And it has been to fight for those who can't fight for themselves, to have a voice for those who don't have a voice or their voice can't be heard, and then to do creative things to hold people accountable, to do the things they said that they'll do. And I sometimes have to absorb that myself, that, you know what, why are you guys yelling at me? I'm here to help. And so I'm like, no, stop it. But they're there to kind of remind me, hey, are you holding up that banner, that standard that you said that you were there to do?
Okay, so we are officially in a new year. What was your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution was not to have a resolution. It was to, there are just a few basic things. One, I want to become more consistent. I want to build consistency. Second piece, I want to know God better. We always think we have an idea of God, but do we truly understand the nature and character of God and how that informs our daily lives? Another goal, I want to save $15,000 this year just for that. And that's my goal. No matter what I have in, I want to put together the parameters to do that. But to be consistent, know God, and to save. And in that consistency is spending time with family, being a better husband, being a better father, and taking care of self. Because this job, both pastoring and politics, you can run and have yourself thrown in so many different areas that they'll be speaking over our body, and people will be talking about who's going to run for that office. So we have to take care of the things that truly matter. At the end, I don't take the entire 77th district home or the entire 9th district. I'm there with June and Layla and Jocelyn and Jalen, as you are with David. And so I have to help myself stay grounded in what really matters, because it's easy to get enamored with Delegate Jones and Pastor Jones. It's easy to, hubris doesn't run short as a kappa. It just doesn't, right? And so those are the ones that remind me, hey, we know your issues. Bring it on back in here. Be true to who you are. But that's key. That's key for me. I want to be consistent in 2024.
Okay, good. So what is something that would surprise people about you?
I like rom-coms.
Really? That is a surprise. What's your favorite one?
Notting Hill. I can't lie. I love Notting Hill. I just do.
That's great.
June is sitting there dragging me every time it comes on. Hugh Grant, Julia Roberts, I freaking love it. I'm telling you, don't judge me. Don't look at me that way, because I don't care.
That's great.
I love Notting Hill. Yeah, I just do. I just do. What was the other one? Love Actually.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, do you watch Love Actually every year?
Yes, I do. And every time he's standing there with the cards, I'm like, oh, I just wish they would just come to the door and catch him trying to yell at his wife and just try. I'm a rom-com guy. I can't lie.
I never would have pegged you for that.
Yeah.
All right. So you also have 2 cane Corsos.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What are their names and what is it like?
We have Scooby.
Dogs?
We have Scooby that we babysit for my son, but he's like mine because I feed the dog on thing and keep him all the time. And then we have Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. And that is literally where we got the name from Encanto.
How big are they?
Scooby is only 100. He's only 100. He's skinny. And Bruno's about 130 right now.
Oh, wow.
And they're the biggest babies on the planet.
Do they think they're lap dogs?
They do, and Bella thinks she's the biggest thing in the house. She's a rescue Pomeranian Chihuahua mix. She's a Pomchi, and she beats the daylights out of both of them. And it's so cool to watch this pack mentality that this large Corso that could literally step on this dog and hurt it understands how to fall in line and how to respect order, right? Because it's her house. In no lie, she is literally fed first every night, and he'll snap at any and everyone else except Bella. And so I think there's something that we can learn from our canine friends. One, it's okay to submit to someone else and to support someone else. That it's not always about you, no matter how big you are, no matter how loud you are, no matter how imposing you might be, right? And so, but that's my buddy.
Oh.
That's my buddy.
Well, yeah, I have.
I'm upset. I can bring him to City Hall. June won't let me bring him to the General Assembly building.
Well, you can bring him to the Rayburn building up in DC.
Really?
Yeah, we have dogs there all the time.
All right.
I've not brought Obi yet. I will. Obi is a 80-pound lap dog.
Now, he's what? He's a lab? What is
He's a lab. He's an English lab, so he's shorter and stocky. He is a little over a year.
How much energy does he still have?
A lot.
Okay. I heard a lot about labs, and they're just like the Energizer bunnies from
I
80s.
mean, I could throw a tennis ball with him all day.
And he would just go.
He would
And see, Corsos, they're so big, they're tired after about 10 minutes, and they'll go hard and heavy for 10. But we've got a lab next door, and it'll just run up and down that fence line, and Bruno's worn out after 5 minutes.
All right, lightning round.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant in town? Gosh, Bookbinders.
That's a good one. Favorite food?
Favorite food? I love dim sum.
Favorite sports team?
San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
Well, actually, they're LA Chargers now.
It's okay. Favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? Honestly, I love T'Challa and the Wolverine, but I'm still a Superman kid growing up.
Oh, I think Superman's a good one. Your favorite season?
Favorite season? Summer.
Which is coming soon, hopefully. I mean, not really, but we can pretend. First job?
First job, I was a vendor, stand help at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. Peanuts, popcorn, get your cotton candy here. Loved it, learned a lot.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? Oh my gosh, that is difficult. It depends on what time of year it is. I'm not gonna lie, Fight the Power. Ralph has heard it. It's on my General Assembly playlist. Played it every morning. My senior year in college during two-a-day camp. Public Enemy was on to something. Fight the Power.
Yes, and mountains or beach?
Beach.
Beach.
Yep.
Beach, totally.
Life's a beach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we won't be headed to the beach anytime soon.
No, you got work to do.
You got work to do for the next 60 days.
Yes, ma'am.
I head back to DC to try to avoid a government shutdown. But it is such a pleasure not only being your friend, but now being your partner.
Indeed.
And I can't wait to see what you do in your first session.
I'm just trying to keep pace with the story, the myth of McClellan. You have crafted a reputation that we are all going to have to shoot for. And you've done it in such a way that, I don't know. I mean, if I miss it, I'll still be a hell of a lot higher than where I am now, because folk just, they fawn over you.
Well,
and you've done the job.
You want to know the secret?
What's that?
Have fun while you're doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well,
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And you guys stay tuned for the next episode of Moments with McClellan.